All right, good morning, grade four. Hope you all had a nice weekend, a nice relaxing weekend. Um, and can you believe it? There's only 2 more weeks left until school holidays. Yeah, that means we get to stay home and pretty much do nothing. But yeah, let's try to stay positive, okay? We're almost at the end. All right, now we've got a lot to get through today, so let's not waste any time and let's get straight onto literacy this morning. Okay, so this morning we're going to look at complex sentences. Okay, this will help you improve your writing skills, especially when it comes to writing narratives. So if you haven't done your narrative assessment yet, maybe you can add a few things here as well, just to help make your narrative sound a bit more fluent. Okay. Now I need you guys to really focus and concentrate here because there is a lot to get through. So make sure you have your thinking caps on. Okay, here's mine. How cool is this hat? Anyways, let's get started. What is a complex sentence? I'll read through it for you guys. Don't worry about that. All right, getting started. What is a main clause? A main clause, or it could be called a simple sentence, is a group of words that express one complete thought. Every main clause must contain a subject and a verb. They can also be called independent clauses, but let's not worry about independent clause. Let's just call it main clause or simple sentence, okay? So here's an example of a simple sentence or a main clause, okay? The horse galloped. And the other sentence, Mr. Richardson ate some cheese. Can you spot the subjects and the verbs in these main clauses? Okay, let's have a look. These are the subjects. Okay, so that's what the sentence is about, the horse and Mr. Richardson. And what are the verbs? We all should know what verbs are. They're action words. So galloped and ate. Okay, simple enough, yeah? Simple sentences or main clause. Let's keep going. Now, what is a complex sentence? A complex sentence is made up of a main clause and then one or more dependent clauses. Now, let's just pause right there. Dependent, what does that mean? It's something that depends on something. So, as children, you guys depend on your parents to, give you food, give you shelter, stuff like that. In the same way, a dependent clause or a dependent sentence relies on the main clause. Okay, let's keep going. There are two ways of creating dependent clauses. Okay, so one is by using a subordinating conjunction. Okay, I'll get to that in a minute. But a subordinating conjunction is, for example, after the word after. Okay, so to create a subordinate clause. Okay, so to create a subordinate clause, you need a subordinating conjunction. Okay, so let's have a look at this example. The horse galloped after it jumped the fence. Okay, so by adding extra information using, oh, wait. Let's pause. Let's rewind back. So let's go back. The horse galloped after, the word after is the subordinating conjunction. So let's look at that word for a sec. Subordinating conjunction. The word subordinating means someone who is lower or ranked lower, okay? So remember the word sub, that means under, okay? So, and the word conjunction is kind of like it's a word that connects other words. So in other words, it's a text connective, okay? So the word after is a subordinating conjunction because it is ranked lower than the main clause, but it connects the two clauses together, okay? And the other way of using a dependent clause is by adding extra information using a relative clause, okay? So let's take a look at the example. Mr. Richardson, who was feeling hungry, ate some cheese, okay? So that relative clause in the middle, who was feeling hungry, that acts as a subordinating conjunction as well, okay? Now I know there's a lot of these big words being thrown out there, but these are the three main words I want you guys to memorize, okay? Okay, so let's have a look at these three main words I want you guys to memorize today. So a main clause, we've already touched on that, is pretty much a simple sentence that contains a subject and a verb. Simple enough, yeah? Simple sentence. Okay, a subordinate clause is a clause typically introduced by a conjunction or a text connective that forms part of and is dependent on the main clause. So the subordinate clause is kind of like, so you got the main clause, the simple sentence, then you got the subordinate clause, which adds a little bit more information, okay? And finally, the third word is a subordinating conjunction, or in other words, text connective. It's a conjunction that introduces the subordinating clause, okay? So it's pretty much the first word of the subordinate clause, okay? So words like although, because, we're going to look at that in the next page, okay? All right, subordinating conjunctions. All right, firstly, let's look at creating complex sentences by using subordinate clauses that begin with a subordinating conjunction. Okay, this is an acronym. It sounds a bit funny, but it'll stick with your brain forever, okay? All right, I saw a wubub. Everyone say that. I saw a wubub. Okay, it's an acronym to help you remember the first letters of some of the most important subordinating conjunctions. Okay, so if, since, as, when, although, while, after, before, until, because. So these words at the bottom here. These are pretty much the most common subordinating conjunction words that you guys will use at grade 4 level, at primary level, okay? There are many more out there, but these are probably the most commonly used ones, okay? All right, let's keep going so we can have a look. All right, so how do we use subordinating conjunctions? Okay, let's have a look. Subordinating conjunctions are the first words within a subordinate clause. Subordinate clauses do not make sense on their own. They are dependent. But when they are used with the main clause, they create a complex sentence or multi-clause sentence. Okay. Subordinate clauses will always have a subject and a verb within them. For example, before they left. Okay, so before is the subordinating conjunction. I think that was part of the acronym. Okay. Subject is they, so it's about them, people. And the verb is they left, okay? They left a house or a party. I don't know. All right, let's keep going. This is a subordinate clause, okay? So let's take this subordinate clause, for example, before they left. What could go before that? We can say the boys took their bags with them before they left. Okay, does that make sense? All right. Let's have a look at a few examples. Can you spot the subordinate clause and the subordinating conjunction in this complex sentence? All right. Juvenile penguins are able to swim, although their feathers aren't yet waterproof. Okay. The subordinate clause is that area that's turned blue, although their feathers aren't yet waterproof. And the subordinating conjunction is, if you said although, you would be correct. Good. Let's keep going. The Boy Scouts sang around the campfire until it was time for bed. Okay, where's the subordinating clause? Well, if you said until it was time for bed, then you are correct. Okay, now what is the subordinating conjunction? The joining word? Until. Good. Let's have a look at another example. Hakim could win the talent contest if he improved his juggling skills. All right, what's the subordinate clause? If he improved his juggling skills. Good. And most of you guys should know this by now. The subordinating conjunction is if. Good. See, if we didn't have that first part of the sentence, Hakim could win the talent contest, just pretend for a minute that didn't exist. If we just read, if he improved his juggling skills, see, it doesn't really make sense by itself. That's why it depends on the main clause. Okay. Oh, in the complex sentences that we have looked at so far, the subordinate clause always comes after the main clause for the simple sentence. But watch. Okay, this was the first example we looked at. Now you can actually start off with the subordinating clause. See? So although their feathers aren't yet waterproof, comma, juvenile penguins are able to swim. Okay. That's the same sentence. All right. So subordinating conjunctions can also be used as the first word in a complex sentence. When the subordinate clause comes before the main clause, make sure you remember to use a comma to mark where the subordinate clause ends. Okay, that is vital. Remember to use the comma. Okay, I've noticed that a lot of you guys like using brackets a lot, especially in your writing. Try to avoid using brackets, but use the commas more often. Okay, there's the comma. All right, can you swap these sentences around so that the subordinate clause comes before the main clause? Don't forget to use your commas. Whoop. Okay, so we got let's have a look at the top one first. The Boy Scouts sang around the campfire until it was time for bed. Okay, we read that earlier. Now let's have a look at how would you flip that around so that the subordinating clause comes first. You would write, until it was time for bed, comma, the Boy Scouts sang around the campfire. Now let's have a look at the second sentence. Hakim could win the talent contest if he improved his juggling skills. We looked at that before already. And we can change it to, if he improved his juggling skills, Hakim could win the talent contest. All right, so we'll stop there. I think that's enough subordinating clauses and conjunctions for now. Okay, now once you have gone through that, if you need to go through that PowerPoint again, feel free to rewatch it. And once you've written down those definitions of those three words, I want you to then go to your packs, and you should have in there a worksheet called subordinate clauses, which looks like this. Okay, so all you need to do is just complete the sentences by adding your own relative or dependent clauses. Okay, you guys should be experts at it by now. Yeah. Okay, if you have any questions, just let me know. All the best with that. Okay, guys. All right, guys. Now for math today, we'll be doing our new topic. So still unit 5 using units of measurements, but this time we're going to click on topic 3, volume and capacity. Now last week we looked at area, which is finding the area of a shape, of a 2D shape. And remember what unit of measurement do we use there? Either centimeters or meters. And what's the little number we put at the top? Squared. Yeah, so it's a number 2 as in squared. So because that's finding the area of the 2D shape. Now in volume and capacity, we're actually moving into 3D world. Okay, so make sure when you are whenever we're measuring volume, we're measuring in cubed. Okay, 9 centimeters cubed, okay? And we're using cubes to measure how much an object can take. Okay, so first up, do your worksheets, page 77 to, yeah, we'll do up to 80. I think that's what it says in the planner. Oh, it says 79, but yeah, 79 or 80, up to you, okay? And then once you've done your worksheets, I want you to have a practice at this interactive activity. It's pretty cool. So what you need to do is you need to move the towers in order from smallest to largest, okay? And you need to count how many cubes there are. So I'm just gonna guess this one looks like the smallest. Or it might be this one. I'm not sure, I'm just guessing, okay? I haven't done this before, but, and then you have to count how many cubes you see, and then check answer, and keep doing that until you get the hang of it, okay? And when you're ready, just do the quiz just as usual. This is a good intro for the subject, okay? And that is it for maths. If you need extra math work, just let me know. You know, I've always got plenty of those, okay? All the best with that one, guys. All right, guys, and finally, for integrated studies, we will be starting our forces assessment. Whoa, get ready. All right, so I'll read it out for you. So this term, we have looked at several different forces that are acting all around us. In this assessment, you need to demonstrate your understanding of the topics we have covered. You may choose to do the assessment digitally and type it up if you wish. You will be marked in regards to presentation, spelling and grammar, and knowledge of your chosen topic. Okay, so the due date is September 14th. You have 1 week to do it. If you need an extension, let me know, but I think 1 week should be enough. I can extend it to 2 weeks if you need to, okay? All right, let's look at the task, okay? Begin by completing the worksheet, the big picture, looking at levels of understanding. Now, you need to study this picture and list and describe all the forces in action, then draw arrows on the image to represent each force. And I want you guys, with the arrows, I want you to draw which direction those forces are acting, okay? That's just a little warm-up exercise for you guys, okay? Now let's go back to the assessment sheet. Okay. Okay, then take a picture. Then you need to take a picture of yourself demonstrating an action. Okay, so either, you know, kicking a ball, riding a bike, doing exercise, using products, anything. Okay, be creative. You can make it a video if you like, and write about the forces that are being applied. Okay, so take a picture or a video of yourself doing something and pretty much write about all the forces that are in play there, okay? And just like before, draw arrows to show the direction that the forces are acting, okay? So if you're running forward, if you take a picture of yourself running forward, you know, have an arrow of you running. You know what I mean, yeah? All right. Then you need to write a paragraph for each force, okay? Now, when I say paragraph, I don't mean like one whole page. Maybe just a few sentences, maybe 3 or 4 sentences about that force, okay? I've written there as well, write as much detail as possible. So I don't want you to write, I don't know, say you took a picture of yourself jumping. I don't want you to draw an arrow and just write gravity, okay? Explain it a bit more. So maybe gravity is pulling my body down while I'm using forces to jump up, something like that, okay? All right, and yeah, I've also written there, the more information you write, the better. Okay, so here is a list of the forces that we've covered this term, just to help you out. You've got Newton's 3 laws of motion, law 1, inertia, law 2, acceleration, force equals mass times acceleration, and law 3, action and reaction, okay? And then you've also got the frictions. So remember, fluid friction, rolling friction, static friction, sliding friction, and other kinds of forces. So torque, centripetal forces, magnetic forces, gravity, air resistance, the list goes on and on, okay? So yeah, guys, remember, this is an assessment, so do your best. This will be graded. And yeah, if you have any questions, especially in regards to topics you need to choose, just let me know, okay? All right, remember at the end of the day, you're trying to show me, you're trying to demonstrate to me that you have learnt about forces, okay? All right, guys, all the best with that. All right, now I know that was a lot to take in, guys, so make sure you stay focused today. Have a good day. Take breaks in between, have a glass of water and enjoy your day. Just contact me if you need any help at all. That's what I'm here for. Bye, guys.